Driving screws into wood can be a bit difficult if the screw is long enough. We can add a bit of WD-40 to make the job easier. To fasten these two pieces of wood together, we'll drill 2 pilot holes at a 45-degree angle. Then we'll install wood screws to secure the post. If our outlet's hanging too loose, we can add pieces of scrap wood into the outlet box to better secure the outlet. Now when we reinstall the outlet plate, it doesn't budge. We can use some steel wire to wrap around this tubing to secure it to this fitting. Wrap the wire with the screwdriver until the excess falls off. For our next DIY project, we'll be making a claw rake. We'll start by cutting some rebar. We'll cut 6 pieces, with the last one being longer than the rest. Sharpen the tips on the 5 and then weld them together at the base. Now we'll place this in the vise and bend each tine to a 90-degree angle. Then we'll weld our last piece onto the end. We'll use our lathe to give our rake a nice wooden handle. If regular nails won't hold this board down, try using rivet nails. If the vinyl starts to come off of this MDF, just use a bit of hot glue and then press it down with a block of wood. Our Wi-Fi signal isn't as strong as we'd like it to be. We can cut open this can of soda and flatten it out. Then place it behind the antenna for better reach. If we need to inflate this air mattress, we can use an industrial vacuum cleaner to help us out. We'll install the hose on the opposite side so that it blows air. And in case the hose doesn't fit to the mattress, we can use this old adhesive tube to make an attachment. Tape the tube to the vacuum hose and then connect it to the mattress. Now we just let the vacuum pump in the air. Our jigsaw has a fan that creates a bit of air. Using this plastic fitting, we can direct the air down to the front of the blade to keep the dust from getting stuck inside of the blade. Our next project is a stand for fishing poles. We'll need a PVC pipe and some foam tubing. We'll mount the PVC pipe onto the bottom of the stand. Then we'll attach the foam tubing just above it. Now we can place our fishing poles just like so. If we need to attach these 2 pipes at a right angle, we can use a pair of scissors to act as a compass to give us a rough guide where to cut. It should look something like this before, and it should look like this after the pipe's been cut. A little trick to keeping pizza a bit warmer on the drive home is just to turn on the seat warmers. You can use a binder clip in cases where you've lost the plastic cover to prevent the razor from accidentally making any cuts. To prevent this board from splitting, you'll want to drill a pilot hole beforehand. You can do this by drilling a bit in reverse. We can use this piece of plastic to ensure clean cuts with our jigsaw. We'll attach the plastic shield to the bottom of our jigsaw using some double-sided tape. Now when we make our cuts, the wood doesn't chip. Try flipping the wrench after every turn for maximum leverage. If we want to cool down a can of soda a bit faster, we can wrap a few napkins around the can, and then wet the napkins, and then place it in the freezer. After about 30 minutes, our soda will be nice and cold.
Let's move on to work with the wires. First thing to do is strip them. To do this with our own hands, we will create a simple construction. which is suitable for cables of different thickness. Let's cover it with varnish and install a blade from an ordinary box cutter. Well, there, the mount is solid. You can check it out in action. As you can see, everything works great. Now let's fix the wires to the wall. It's often unreliable, but we know how to fix it. Just 2 parts. You cannot pull the plug out of the outlet. I don't understand why no one follows this simple rule. Well, let's make a sturdy attachment that will keep the cable from ripping off once again. And move on to the corrugated pipe. It's not hard to fasten it properly too. And it's a totally different thing. It's time to find out how the 3-way switch works. Trust me, it's a very handy thing that lets you control lights from different parts of the room. The important thing is to build the right circuit. Does it look like the outlet's about to fall off? That's not good. We need to fix it right away. Let's take it apart and make it as sturdy as possible. We'll have to use a gun to do it. No, not the one that you're thinking of, just a glue gun. Put the parts back in place. Now it's held firmly in place. Did the light bulb stop working? Maybe it's a blown diode. Let's take it apart and see. We suggest shorting it out. Grab your soldering iron, it's time to get started. And test it. It works. Burnt and shorted. These words often haunt electricians. Fortunately, professionals know how to prevent the problem. For example, you can connect the wires beforehand using this simple principle of stairs. Perfect! All that's left is to connect and insulate everything. This construction is not as sturdy as it looks. Maybe we could add some fire. I think it will help secure everything. However, why assume when you cannot test it? The final touch is that now all the wires are definitely protected. Junctions are the worst dream of anyone who has ever dealt with electrical work. They are so often unreliable. You need to fix the situation. Take note of a few successful and proven tricks. Really solid too. Check out a few more options. You will have to use pliers for these. This is even tighter than the sailing knot. A whole roll of duct tape can be difficult to slip through the small gaps between the wires. And finally, let's make an express phone charger, which will come in handy in case you don't have a regular one at hand.